I'm a football fan and I like outer space, two things that generally don't go together. Until now. Hi, I'm Brad Fossler, a sports producer at NBC, and I'm here to tell you what the Super Bowl would look like on Mars. The only problem is I'm not a rocket scientist or an expert on Mars, or anything that has to do with outer space. That's where Tory Bruno comes in. He is the CEO of United Launch Alliance, or ULA, the company that has launched every US rover to Mars.
For the next several minutes, I am your personal rocket scientist.
I guess the first question needs to be, would it even be possible to play football on Mars?
Absolutely, we can play football on Mars, no problem.
Before we do anything, we need to figure out how to get there. Mars isn't an easy plane ride across the country.
Well, it turns out that we can only fly to Mars once every 26 months when our two planets are just passing each other in orbit. And the trip itself takes about 7 months. If we're using an Orion capsule to get us out there, it's going to take 10 trips just for one football team.
Once our two teams get there won't be a field to play on, and the Martian landscape might not be suitable enough on its own, assuming we play at the right time of year.
Well, there's plenty of wide open flat spaces on Mars, so there's plenty of room for a field, but the ground is dry, dusty, and rocky, a lot like Mojave or even Death Valley, so artificial turf is going to be a must. We really want to play this football game in the Martian summer when temperatures are a comfortable 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and definitely not in the Martian winter where temps can fall below minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is even colder than a curling match in Montreal.
A big difference between Earth and Mars is the atmosphere that surrounds the planet. On Earth, it's just right for us humans to live, work, and play without issue. On Mars, however, things are a little different.
Mars has less than 1% of the atmospheric density of Earth, so our astronauts, I should say our players, are not going to be able to just go to Denver and do altitude training. That's not going to cut it. They are going to be in spacesuits. But the good news is, with the reduced gravity on Mars, only about a third of the Earth, they're not going to mind that weight, so they are going to be able to run, tackle, kick, just like normal.
That must mean that things like throwing, kicking, and tackling are going to be different, right?
Well, a tackle on Mars is going to be a little bit different. That first impact is going to feel just the same for the players because mass is mass anywhere in the universe, but with the reduced gravity on Mars, that landing is going to be an awful lot softer. A standard 25-yard pass on Earth is going to go more like 200 yards on Mars because of the reduced gravity and because of the much reduced aerodynamic drag. And so I'll predict that on Mars, the passing game is really going to dominate. You could actually attempt a field goal credibly from the opposite end of the field by the other set of uprights.
And I can just walk onto Mars in my normal football gear, right?
Well, our players on Mars are going to be wearing spacesuits. And with a Martian atmosphere of 95% carbon dioxide, that suit's going to provide the oxygen they need to breathe and play. And also, it's going to apply the pressure for their bodies because the atmosphere on Mars is also less than 1% the density of here on Earth. And without that pressure in the suit, their blood would literally boil.
So what about the football then? With the pressure difference, there's sure to be some issues.
Well, if we put the same amount of air in a football on Mars that we would use on Earth, it would literally explode. So we're going to be using only 1% of that amount of air. So we, in a sense, are going to have low inflation footballs on Mars.
Football on Mars is technically possible, yes, but it would take years of planning and training, not to mention the dozens of trips it would take to get everything and everyone there. Oh, and you want to watch the game live? That's going to be a little different too.
Well, depending on where our two planets are in their relative orbits, the broadcast delay will not be shorter than 5 minutes, and it could be as long as 20 minutes. Our last mission to Mars was Mars Perseverance that had the Ingenuity helicopter, and I think that's a great opportunity for those cool aerial shots during the game.
And if you only watch for the halftime show, things are going to sound a little different.
Well, sound travels very differently on Mars. Because of the very low atmospheric density, sounds will be muted, and only the lowest of baritones are going to come through at all. And so the performers are going to need to get that microphone all the way up to their face and be loud so they can be heard. They're also going to want to sing fast. They're going to want to belt out that national anthem, because with a 95% carbon dioxide atmosphere, they want to go even faster than Billy Joel did back in 2007, or literally risk suffocation.
So while playing the Super Bowl on Mars sounds really awesome, it might not be something we can do for a while.